Okay, hello everyone. This is Swing Trader this side. You guys know me as Vikram Batra, and I have been trading for a while, for a few years now, and a lot of you people in this group, Telegram group, who have joined it, they know me personally. So I had this idea where I think I decided that I would start doing a weekly video, and I would talk about the stocks which I give as a suggestion. These are in fact my own trades, these are not suggestions, these are my personal trades which I take up, and I will just go through them on a weekly basis, that what the stocks have done throughout the week, and how are they possibly going to perform, if there are any changes with respect to the target or the stop loss. So it will just keep you updated. Even if you are not able to go through all the stocks the entire week, maybe you can look at this 10-15 minute video, and it will just give you the gist of the entire week's action. So I will try to cover Nifty on a weekly basis, like how Nifty has done and what is the possible movement. Along with that, I will be covering some commodities. You know, I'm majorly bullish on two commodities, that is silver and zinc, so I'll be covering them. And along with that, we'll cover some of the stocks that we've recommended. So yes, let's begin then. We'll start with Nifty. So Nifty is trading currently at 15,860, as you can see here. And if you see here, it was in a consolidation mode for in fact for quite some time. If you guys remember, in my Telegram group in January early week, I had given a target of 15 or 15,500 odd, and in fact it ended up getting there very close to that target. And since then it had been moving in a parallel channel. If you can see this parallel channel I've drawn, and post that it has started moving up again. It broke out here around 18th of May. So we can again draw a parallel channel to determine what are the possible targets. If I take this low, draw a parallel sort of a channel, and take all the closings, then this is a possible parallel channel where Nifty is moving, or how the Nifty is moving. So using this, we can see that yeah, there is a possibility that Nifty should ideally head to this level. Till the time it is holding this channel, it should get to this level of 16,400, 16,380, somewhere close to that region, maybe next week or next couple of weeks. So yeah, this will be the first target for Nifty, and this is of course only possible till we are holding this channel line, that is, we are holding this blue region, as you can see here. So this is the Nifty and how it should probably play out over the next week. Next, silver, you know, we have been bullish on. It's been a while we have been bullish on this, and it's taking time. We've been holding August futures. I'm sure some of you are also holding it. So yeah, this continues to be in this contracting triangle, or you can possibly draw a horizontal line at the top. So it's squeezing down here, and let's hope. In fact, if you see it in the past, earlier moves in the last bull run, which happened from 2004 to 2008 in silver, there all the consolidations that happened in a triangle in silver, like something like this happened from 2004 to 2005. It broke out and gave a very good move, and again there was a triangle sort of a consolidation again in silver in 2006 and 7, and again it went up after that. So generally, these triangle consolidations in silver, they generally end up giving a good move on the upside. So yeah, we are expecting something similar. It is again contracting in a triangle. Let's see what happens next. We are hoping that it would start turning anytime soon. Of course, our stop loss is below this line, or below this bottom. I think somewhere here we should start keeping our stop losses. So there is a possibility we might have to deepen it further. Let's say 63-64k. The time is not there yet. We'll see it how it works out this week. Let's hope it starts turning around and breaking out. Next would be zinc. Zinc again, we'll look at this on the MCX in rupee terms. Okay. Yeah, so if you see zinc here, it has been trying to cross this line this if I draw a horizontal line here, it's very easy. I think you guys who've been following the Telegram group know by now that this is the basic style how I put my trades. I generally look for areas which have been not crossed for a while. So zinc was not able to cross this region. It has not been able to cross this region of what, 230, 232, 233, somewhere around this region. And finally it is trying to. This is like the third or the fourth attempt, whatever you want to call it. And most probably it should, I think, ideally it should break out this time. And it is a commodity. It is one of the metals that hasn't broken out yet. In fact, it is the slowest metal to move. If you see its counterparts, which is lead and copper, in fact, copper was the first one to break out. If I show you copper chart, copper was the first one to break out. Copper had a similar pattern that it was trying to break this level since 2018, and it was the first one to break out in July 2020 itself. And it broke out above this 480 odd level and gave a huge move all the way up to 813 within like what, 9-12 months, something like that. So zinc has actually been a laggard in the last few months. Let's hope it catches up. And lead, if you see, lead is also something similar. It is also trying to break out. It has also been a laggard, in fact, as compared to copper. Copper has been the first of the base metals that has broken out. So since 2017-18, even lead is trying to move above this region of 170 to 180 odd region. So let's hope lead and zinc, they perhaps break out together and start moving towards their respective targets. We are not trading lead. Lead is actually, we haven't taken a position because it's not very liquid as liquid as compared to zinc. Zinc is more traded, easily traded when it comes to the Indian stock, Indian commodity exchanges, that is on the MCX. So yeah, right, next let's move on to some of the stocks that I have suggested over the last few months, and we'll start with Manappuram, the one I think I have suggested for a while, and it's tested our patience. We thought it would break out, and it hasn't yet, and it came very close to breaking out, in fact. So if you see this line, this is the weekly chart of Manappuram, and it's being trying to go above this line that I've marked, these points, and it found support also in the very similar region where we expected it. Like these were the support areas around 144, or if you can draw here, somewhere here, so 144 to 138, somewhere around this region. We expected some support, and yes, it moved up back from there, and it's going to give another shot. And there is a high possibility that may actually break out above this 180, 185, 190 zone. And once it does, we have some good targets for it. We can use the parallel channel to calculate the possible target. So yeah, that will give us one target that where it can go, at least the first target it will give us. So if I use this parallel channel, then ideally it should get to like 257 odd, which will be somewhere close around October, yeah, somewhere around Diwali maybe. So that's a good time actually to get there, seasonally also. And gold and silver also, we are planning that we are seeing that they might also break out. So if they do, if gold actually does end up breaking out and moving, then Manappuram and gold may actually be moving in tandem over the next few weeks or next few months. So yeah, by Diwali, I think one should expect this to be somewhere around 259, 260, hoping that yeah, it actually ends up breaking above this level. So let's see. Even the top end of the channel comes somewhere close to that region only. So let's hope. Next on our radar, that was Solar Industries. Just a second. Solar Industries. So Solar Industries broke out. It had a very similar chart pattern. Let's remove this thing first. Okay. Yeah. So Solar Industry had similar chart pattern, again the same pattern I follow always. And when it broke out, this was the time it broke out, this right here. So we suggested it somewhere close to this region, I think. This was March 2021. I don't know when exactly did I suggest this, but it broke out and then it did some retesting. It went down, did some retesting, and then it has moved back up again. The targets, I think it's very close to the first target we gave. It was somewhere around 1700, if I can remember correctly. if I try to draw a parallel channel, actually it's hard to draw a parallel channel here, but I'll still try. Just a second. Yeah. So if I try drawing a parallel channel using this thing, yeah, if I use this top and try drawing a parallel channel, then the first target, it should maybe start going up again over the next couple of weeks and test this 1780, 1800 odd region, where one can consider booking out part of the profits, any short-term traders. Although for the longer-term traders, I think it has broken out after a 3-4 year consolidation, so one can continue holding it. The people who want to continue to hold it for the long term, but short-term traders for sure, yes, anywhere between 1700 to 1800 is a good time to take some profits. And yes, that's about it on Solar Industries. Next is Blue Star, another stock that had broken out and is still doing the retesting part. It's not easy when such stocks they break out and then they keep retesting for a while. So this region, it had been trying to break out for a while again since 2018-17. So you see a lot of stocks with similar patterns. That's because since 2017-18, most of these smaller or mid-cap companies, they had gone into consolidation mode, or they were going down. In fact, while Nifty was doing absolutely fine till 2020, most of the smaller stocks were already into correction mode. People who've been there in the markets last 5-6 years, they would tell you that Nifty was not actually representing the entire stock market. Nifty was all about the top 50 stock. It's always been about the top 50 stocks, and they were doing well. They were doing fine. Or at least Nifty was being churned in such a way by SEBI that only the best performing stocks were being reflected in the Nifty. But smaller stocks weren't doing well. So a lot of stocks which have been in consolidation modes are now breaking out. Similar is the case with Blue Star. It has been trying to cross this certain region of 840, 850 region, and it broke out. It broke out around here in February 2021, and since then it has been in a consolidation mode. That's okay. We are waiting for it. So nothing more to share here. Let's keep waiting. We will keep our stop loss somewhere, I think, below this line, somewhere around here, 670, maybe a little higher. So this is the last swing low. So somewhere in between, below this, if it closes on a weekly basis, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, again, continue holding this. No point giving up. CCL Products, a good stock. I really like the pattern here. The pattern actually is a little difficult to explain, this one, because it's on a monthly and a log chart. Log chart is hard to explain for me right now, but yeah, it's a stock. Let's see what's it done. Actually, there's no point explaining this here. Yeah, so if you look at it on a weekly basis, then it had broken out above this line, right? So this is the weekly chart. It has broken out above this line, which it had been trying to cross since 2018, and it did finally here, and it was at 313 on 10th May 2021. It went all the way up to 374. We are still holding it. We are very positive on the stock on the longer term time frame as well. It's a little hard to explain. I will try to, although, because this is what we call a flag sort of a pattern. It's a sort of a flag. It has been in this formation for quite a while now. It had a very good up run from 2013 all the way up to 2017. Same time frame, if you see, since 2017, like most other stocks, smaller stocks, it went into a consolidation and it has broken out now. And our targets are way higher on this. Like mostly you get your targets by drawing parallel channels. So if I look at this one, if I look at this one, the parallel channel would be almost unbelievable to some people. It's actually hard to draw. Let me try just a second. Yeah, so if I look, if I see this parallel channel, if I take these two tops, this one and in fact this one is something like this, yeah. So if I take these tops here and 1, 2 and 3, these bottoms, then yeah, the top end of the channel comes somewhere here, which is 1600 odd, which is like 1600 odd, and this is by February or April 2022. So somewhere like 1 year down the line, that we are expecting the stock to go 5 times, 4.5 times, which is quite a big move. I don't know how it will happen, or maybe it goes like, it may not be direct move, may not be a straightforward move. It may go like this and then go perhaps sideways for a year and then go above. In that case, the target becomes even higher. It becomes almost 2500, but the time frame will increase. Like it will, instead of getting there like directly, it may get there in 4-5 years. But if it does take in 2-3 years, sorry. So if it does take 2 years, in that case the target will also be a little higher. It will be more like 2500. In that case, it becomes a 6-bagger almost, right? So yeah, but I'm bullish on this stock. I'm very much bullish on this stock. This is like one of my core portfolio stocks that I am personally holding, and I've suggested to a lot of people and in my Telegram group. So yeah. Next, Orient Refractories. Orient Refractories, you can see it again, very similar pattern. I've drawn it in fact already. So yeah, there's nothing much to discuss here. I think it's becoming now obvious what I'm doing with most of my stocks. So it broke out and we entered, and now we are holding it. Let's see the targets I have mentioned here in my group, in the group, Telegram group. You can continue holding this stock for this target. Goodrich, you see it's on the weekly chart. The weekly chart, it's a parallel sort of a flag. So yeah, it was in a flag sort of a formation. After this, up moved into a flag, and then it broke out somewhere around here, maybe 31st May end. Yeah. So now next target should be, it's like all-time high. All-time high is still very far. I think we can, we'll get better targets. Yeah. So yeah, it will first head back to this region where it found its resistance earlier. That is, first it will head to 316, and once it clears that, I think we are open all the way up to 526. Like there's no resistance between this region. This you see, from 308.15 to 20 region se lekar up till 530 or 540, there's hardly any resistance. So now once it starts, the possible movement we can mark is, once it starts clearing of this, we need a big candle close above this. Then it will go sideways, test it a couple of times, and then it should ideally head back to its all-time highs. That's what is the expected movement from this stock. It looks good initially, like after a sideways move, it's formed a flag and it's moving up. So yeah, it looks good to me still. People are holding it, I'm sure. It was suggested a couple of weeks back, or I think 3-4 weeks back. But yeah. Okay, next is KSCL. KSCL again. So yeah, KSCL, it's been moving in this horizontal channel, or you can call it a rectangle. I'll draw it fresh. So if you want, you can draw a rectangle instead in certain cases, like this one. It's been moving in this rectangle for a while, and it tried to clear the upper boundary in 2017, 2020, and on the weekly basis it has broken out for sure. Right, on the monthly it's still trying to. I think this month ends in like 3 days, 2-3 more trading days. So yeah, so it's broken out on the weekly basis, and ideally it came back and also retested this line, this breakout line. If you see here, if you want to make it like this, yeah. So this breakout line, it broke out and it retested last 2 weeks, and now I think it should head back to this all-time high region, which is somewhere around 1000, and that is the target that I have given. It's been a multi-bagger in the last decade, so yeah, I think it would continue to be a good stock in the next decade as well, after this huge consolidation in the last 6-7 odd years. So yeah, I think my first target will be 1000, and in fact I feel once this consolidation is over, post 2022, maybe it may be again heading to all-time highs, which is much beyond the 1000 level as well. So short-term traders, yeah, you can book out around 1000, and that's what I will be also doing. We are in for it for the short term only right now. This is not a investment sort of a bet, at least for now. Okay, next, what else? BEL, similar pattern, I think we had covered, I think I posted this chart, I also posted on the group itself. It went up and then it broke out and then retested, and post the retest it had a beautiful week. In fact, last one it has shown a big candle from 141 to 177, and it's heading very close to our target. Our target is close to this level, 190 odd levels, and we'll take our profits there. I think it should get there, in fact, maybe in the next week itself. So yeah, for traders who are holding this, can consider booking out this week itself, and it gets to this 189 190 region. Next is Hind Zinc. Hind Zinc, of course, is a similar chart as compared to zinc, so I don't think I need to explain here much. It's in fact absolutely the same chart. It's been trying to break out of a certain level. It did so. This candle did so, but post that it's again went into a consolidation. I think it will. I think I'm still positive on it. I have no doubts here yet. At least we have our stop losses in place. We'll continue evaluating it on weekly basis. But yeah, I think it will move very much in tandem with zinc. Zinc moves up, Hindustan Zinc moves up, and I think both are due for a move over the next few weeks. Next is DCM Shriram. I'm covering today all the stocks that I've mentioned because this is the first time doing a video. So from next time onwards, I'll perhaps try to cover only those stocks which have shown some significant move over the week, or some new stocks, in fact, which have come on my radar, and where some action is required. But not all the stocks I'll be covering every week. Today we are doing it just one time. Okay. So this thing again, DCM Shriram, similar chart. I think I've shared it. It retested, it broke out, retested, and it started its path upwards this week. Again, a stock which has had a very good week, last one. Its target is, I think, first target is around 1000, which I have mentioned. I am not going to right now show because I have a lot more stocks to cover, and the video, I think, has already become a little too long. Yeah, so next is V-Guard. I think V-Guard, I mentioned this week that it provided a good entry opportunity last week. Yeah, because it was doing some retesting part. In fact, I remember I gave this very timely. I gave this on Friday itself when it broke out, or Thursday or Friday when it was giving a confirmation. It had a very good move on Thursday, and it broke out on this 24th May, Friday of this week, starting 24th May. And it very next week it like opened up 4-5%, and then it has, since then, last 2 weeks, it has retested this line and started moving up again. So we suggested that a good entry opportunity was available again at 255. It's currently at 270 again, made a high of 275.6 during the week. But yeah, again, it's I think it is a stock that has broken out after a while. It's a good stock, a renowned company in electrical appliances, and it's broken out. So I think it should it's a no-brainer, honestly, to me. Like, unless something drastically goes wrong, and we'll see it, of course, on the charts price-wise. But this is a good stock to hold, and still a good entry. It's not gone anywhere. It's it should go like 2x, 3x maybe over the next few years. Okay, next is GM Breweries. Okay, GM Breweries gave a sudden move the very next day. We were so excited. It went up 20%, and since then it's just gone into a consolidation. I'll show you the reason why it's gone into a consolidation. We may have actually miscalculated its target a little, so that may be a probable reason that why so. So again, weekly basis, you see this consolidation. It was trying to cross this region. It did finally, when we suggested 522, and the very next video it went to 655. And if you see, our actual target should have been somewhere around this only, this region. You see, like, these 2 points are like exactly at the same region. We had marked our target somewhere close to here, like the older high, somewhere this region, which was like close to 700, 690 odd. We had marked this as the target. It's not that it's not going to get there. We are pretty sure it's going to get there still. There is a slight possibility. Now there are actually multiple possibilities. So it may continue moving up till here, and in fact there is a slight possibility it may even continue breaking out and continue moving towards this 935, which is our final target for this up move. Or there is a second possibility, like, I'll just show you. So there is a second possibility that it moves up to this region, then in fact drops all the way back and then moves up. So this is a relatively smaller stock, or it's a volatile stock, I'll say, not smaller stock. It's a volatile stock. So this kind of movement also wouldn't force us to move us out of the trade. In such cases, when the stocks are smaller, you need to just sit over those trades for a little while and be a little patient. So the smaller the stock, the wider will be the fluctuations, of course. The volatility will be on the higher side. You just need to sit through all that volatility if you want to remain in the stock market. Okay, next one is Murudeshwar. Again, a stock which gave a very good move. The very next day we suggested it. This chart, I think I posted it. I'm not very sure. Again, a similar pattern. It's very similar to what we saw. Yeah, and it broke out this week right here around 27, went up all the way to 32.5, and we expected it to go all the way to 34, 35. I'm still open to that possibility. You see here these tops. This will be the very short-term target, So yeah, but the short-term traders should I suggest should book out around 34.5 odd region. And for the longer-term players, I think there is no way you should book out here. For the longer-term players, I think there is a very high possibility that this stock will move towards this 57 odd target. So someone who's willing to hold it and still take slight bit of risk, I think you should continue holding it till 57. Stop loss, of course, remains at 17 right now, but once it gets to 34, you can consider moving it a little upwards towards 23 odd. And Murudeshwar is done. Next is MOIL. MOIL, again, very similar pattern. You guys are seeing same patterns repeat continuously. So yeah, similar pattern, broke out. First target would be somewhere close to this region, which is 216. 216 should be the very first target, but that's like very close. But yeah, 216 will be first target. Like if you're a very short-term player and you're okay with that much, fine, you can consider booking out there. But for the longer-term players, the target is very close to 280. And again, ideally, I feel it should get there. There is no reason for it to stop here. Yes, it may get to 214 and go into some sort of a consolidation and not directly get to 280, which means you have to hold it a little longer. But yeah. Okay, next is Zuari Agro. Zuari Agrochemicals. No change in our stance, no change in the pattern. We always find same patterns. They repeat everywhere, all sorts of patterns. So again, same region being tested multiple times, finally breaking out here, and we target what is the next possible resistance. If you see this area, the blue area I've drawn here, it's found it difficult to cross this region, and even when it was falling down, it found some sort of a support in this region. So yeah. Yeah, so this is the possible target which I've mentioned, around 210 to 213 odd. It's currently only 123, so the risk reward is pretty good on this one. In fact, one can continue holding this with stop loss somewhere here, maybe 88, 90, 88, 80. I think 88 is a safe stop loss. Its current price is 126, and you can hold it for 210 odd. So we're getting like 90 rupees here, and worst case scenario we lose like 30. So yeah, we're getting a 1:3. 1:3 is a great risk reward when it comes to medium term trading. So I would any day take it. We are holding this, and those who are holding it, please continue to do so with the given stop loss. And it had a flat week, so nothing much to talk about during this week. Next is GSCL. GSCL, in fact, I had been tracking for a while. I took an entry way back before I had posted this one on the group. But only with the token amount. You guys know that I enter partly when the pattern is only developing and it's not actually broken out, and then we add up to that quantity even further. We make it 100% once the pattern actually breaks out. So we are already in, because sometimes the breakouts are so huge that you end up missing out. You don't make money at all, right? So you feel like it's opened up 20%, or it's gone up 20% or 30% in a week. Now you are looking for an entry on retest and retest. In fact, sometimes may not happen also. So you want to make sure you get in with some quantity, token quantity as I call it, when the pattern is developing, and then you want to enter once the stock has broken out, the rest of it. So what it does, even if the stock has gone up 10, 15, 20% in a month, and you have some token quantity at a lower price, the overall price will come very close to the breakout level itself, your overall average price. So in that sense, you get a very good risk reward anyways. right? And even if the stock doesn't break out, then you are only in with like 20% of the total quantity you had intended to buy. So it works out well risk management wise. So yeah, it has been trying to cross this region for last 7-8 odd years, and it finally did. This was a big move. So it broke out, and we are holding it. The target in fact is open. It's broken out into all-time highs. So it's when such breakouts happen after a long time, stocks tend to go up 2 times, 3 times, as I've said earlier. So again, a stock that is on our radar. Wockhardt, this a good friend suggested it to me. He said, look at the chart of Wockhardt, and he's been trying to learn charting, and in fact I found it really good. And I think I made this parallel channel later, and to understand that why actually the stock moved down. So if you see, if I join these two bottoms, and draw a parallel channel from this top, then that's where the price actually moved down back from. And now it has retested this exact breakout point. You see, this region is important to Wockhardt, this 540, 550 odd region. Like it moved down here, and then in 2014 it took support, in 2017 it took support, and again it tried to break out in 2020 December, failed to, but it finally has broken out above this level. In May 2021 it went up, and now it's retesting. It's in retesting mode. So yeah, so if it's in retesting mode, our target is very much clear. It should be somewhere around 1000. This next resistance level, as we can see, this has been tested 1, 2, 3 times. So yeah, this 1000, 1020, 1030, this is the region we are expecting that it will go to. It may take its own sweet time. If it has to continue following this parallel channel, then and it has to get to 1000 also. So there is a possibility that it may in fact go a little sideways, test the lower boundary of this channel, and may get there only by October 2022. So if it continues this parallel channel, it's not necessary it may continue to do so. It may actually break out above this and get there immediately. But if it continues to stay in this parallel channel, then we are giving a time frame also, in that sense that it should get to this 1000 target by October 2022, which is like exactly a year, a little over a year, in fact, year and couple of months. So 14-15 odd months we are talking about, and 14-15 odd months for 100% return is certainly not bad. Right, next is one more stock I wanted to cover about, Bharat Gear. Bharat Gear is I said it's a risky bet when I shared it on my channel, because it is a little risky. There's no doubting about that. Bharat Gear is a little risky because it's a little lesser known stock. It's a known company versus lesser known stock. It's not much talked about in the stock market, like in the stock markets. People, traders or investors don't really talk about it. But yeah, if I look at this chart, it's managed to close above this line for the first time, I think. Yeah, it's the first time. Like it's never been able to cross this. It's never been able to cross this mark since 2005. It has been, it did, but the only time it did, it like ended up going to 220. So more than 100% gains there. And after again, it is trying to break out above this line. So even if I move this line a little above, some people would say you should take the top of the wicks. I generally take where I get maximum touch points, irrespective of whether it's the wicks or whether I take the candle body or the closings. Yeah, but anyways, if I take that, in that case also it has broken out for me. It has broken out certainly, and my targets are somewhere close to this 197, 180, 197 in fact, not 180, 197 odd region, which is like 100% return almost on the current price. It's at 100. We suggested around 104, 105, I think. I don't know, but yeah, it's a little down, but we can continue holding this. I think that's about it. I think I've tried to cover as many stocks as possible, and we will continue doing so every week. Whatever stocks also come to my radar, I generally do a half-hour session where I go through the stocks which are on my radar, and I try to cherry pick whatever is giving entry for the next week, take the possible entries, also find exits for the ones that I'm holding which are giving decent returns, just to make sure that my capital is not completely blocked. So yeah, I'll be doing all that stuff. I hope you all like this video, and if you really like the video, please just subscribe to the channel, like the video. I don't know what else to say. I'm making the video for the first time, so hope you guys just support this. And yes, let's see you next week. Goodbye. Have a good trading week.